Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Daily Word. I'm really glad that you have joined me. And for our Daily Word, we're going to jump into Luke chapter 18, and we're going to start right at verse 1. One day, Jesus told his disciples a story to show that they should always pray and never give up. And then Jesus goes on to tell the story of the unjust judge. He says he doesn't care about God, he doesn't care about people, but this woman is just absolutely relentless. She is persistent in pursuing justice from this judge. And so finally he relents just because he wants to have her stop bothering him. And then he says, how much more is God going to give justice to his people? And then in verse 8 we read, I tell you, he will grant justice to them quickly. But when the Son of Man returns, how many will he find on the earth who have faith? So today I really felt like the word that God gave me was about the fact that persistence in prayer is persistence in faith. That persistence in prayer is persistence in faith. I've had folks ask me before, essentially, once I've prayed about something to God, shouldn't I stop praying about it? Shouldn't I just leave that in God's hands? And wouldn't my ceasing to pray about whatever that was, that issue, that concern, that burden, wouldn't it show faith if I never brought that to God again? Because I know that he's got it, and I know that he's good and he's going to do the right thing. And I definitely, certainly understand the heart behind that. I get it for sure, but Jesus reveals a different dynamic here, a different dynamic of prayer, a different dynamic of the soul. So Jesus is telling this parable of contrast. Certainly, we understand that God is not an unjust judge. He is the author of justice. His character defines what justice is, what right is. And so certainly he is not like the unjust judge. This is about contrast, that if this person who doesn't care about God or people will respond and do the right thing just because of persistence, imagine what God will do as we persist in prayer. That God will, we know, do the right thing at the right time, but our bringing whatever that concern, whatever that burden is, to God again and again, that is not an act of a lack, out of a lack of faith. It is, I believe, actually, and the scriptures certainly seem to call us to this, it is an act of faith. That each time we're bringing that matter back to God, we're essentially, we're laying it down at his throne once again. I don't know about you, but I suspect that this is true for many of us. What's true for me is that I will take a concern to God, and then almost immediately sometimes I'll pick it back up again. And I have to take it to God in prayer and lay it again at his throne and say, I haven't given up on you, Lord. I trust you, Lord. I'm bringing this before you. Here is my heart. Here is my request. And I love you, and I will continue to trust you, and I'm laying this down. I am coming to you, Lord, because I want the rest that you have promised. And isn't it such a blessing when we do come to the Lord in prayer and we lay our burdens at his feet, and we do experience that peace of knowing that God has whatever the situation is. And it is a calling here too, I believe, to trust the timing of the Lord in all of our prayers, that he will do the right thing, he will make things right. But in fact, what we read here is essentially that there are some matters of justice, there are some things that will only be made right in the renewal of all things. That there are some things that will not get fixed until we go home to be with the Lord, that will not get fixed until the Lord returns and sets all of creation to rights. And so Jesus says, But when the Son of Man returns, how many will he find on earth who have faith? And so let us be those who continue to bring our concerns to God, even if it's every few minutes, to lay those things at His throne and to continue to trust Him and trust His timing, even if whatever it is that we're praying about is not made right in this life, but it is, we can trust that it will ultimately be made right by Jesus Christ. For He is our Redeemer, and He will one day redeem all things. Thanks be to God. And brothers and sisters in Christ, friends, until we speak again, I pray that God would bless you and keep you.